Hi everybody, it's Doreen, and I'm back today with an anniversary card. Now, this doesn't necessarily have to be an anniversary card. You can make it a birthday card, but it probably would have to be one of the other because of the way I've made the card, or actually the wording that I have on the front of the card. Now, I did get this idea off of someone's Pinterest page, and I will put a link to that actual page down in the description bar. Everything that I've done, I've used the silhouette to make the card, and I've also done the print and cut feature to do a lot of the portion of the card. Now, I'm not going to show you how to do that because I've had previous videos that I've done where I show you how to do the print and cut. So, what does the card look like that we'll be making today? This is the card that we will be making. So, come on and join me, and I'm going to show you how I made this card. Okay, everybody, so I'm going to bring up the supplies so we can get started making this card. Now, I found this card idea on a Pinterest site. I'm going to see if I can try to find the actual Pinterest page that I found it on, because I found it actually last year, and I said to myself, oh, that'll be a good card idea for when I have to make my in-laws anniversary card. So I've gone ahead and already cut out everything using the silhouette. Now, I'm not going to walk you through how I cut everything out. I did use the print and cut feature, and as you know, I've done a couple of videos showing you how to do the print and cut, so I'm not going to go ahead and do this with this card. So my card measures 5, or actually, let's do that again, measures 10 inches by 7 inches, and I've gone ahead and scored that to make it a 5-inch by 7-inch card. I kind of wanted this one to be a little big one. And I've already gone ahead and added my inside sentiment using the print and cut. So I'm now going to go ahead and start putting my layers together. So this piece of the card is from Bird's Cards, and I will put a link to this file that I got down in the description bar. Now, Bird's Cards, I've used a lot of her designs before, and I really like what she does, and she has been doing this for quite a while, and she's actually giving you these files for free. But I would recommend and ask that if you use Bird's files, that you leave a tip. She has a tip jar on her blog where you can donate, you know, just a few dollars for using her files. And I've done this before because, like I said, I do like using her files. So my card actually has this design on it. Now, the card that I saw on the Pinterest site does use a different layout on the front as far as these pieces here, but this is what I came up with, and I did some resizing and so forth to go ahead and make the card, or the top layer anyway. So now this cardstock is some of the Recollections cardstock. It's a metallic blend or brand. So let's go ahead and get our layer on here. So I'm just going to go ahead and get some tape on here. I'm going to find my tape gun. And I'm just going to go across here like so. So I'm only going to get the tape along in this piece. I'm not going to tape the other pieces, my edges or so forth. I'm not going to tape those down. I'm just going to kind of line this up, because what I've done to lay this out actually is I went ahead and did an offset of this piece right here to get what I have back here as my bottom layer there. So then we'll go ahead and put on our next piece, which is the actual wording that I came up with. And like I said, I did see this on Pinterest. So my in-laws have been married 60 years, and I kind of broke that down to 3,130 weeks, 21,910 days. They have 2 sons and 2 daughters, 4 grandchildren, 2 great-grandchildren, dozens of holidays, thousands of kisses, thousands of millions of laughs, one love. I just thought this was so cute when I saw this last year, and I thought, I can't wait to do this for them this year because they would have been married 60 years. So what I'm going to do is I just want to line this up a little bit because I kind of want to get that in the center there just so I can see what that's like. And I did use the print and cut for this, and I used my oval in the Silhouette software shape to fit my wording inside here. Now, how I came up with the weeks, days, and so forth, if you go on the internet, you put in the amount of years you want or the weeks or whatever, and it'll tell you that amount. And I just did that by going to Google on the internet. Google is my friend. I use Google a lot for everything when I'm trying to find something. So I'm going to get some tape on the back of here using my ATG gun. And then we're going to put this on the card. So I'm going to line this up and get this in the center here. And I'm going to put this down and try to line it up in the center. You know, I'm not going to measure anything. I'm just eyeballing this. And I'm going to press that down. So now we're ready to add this whole thing to our card. So we'll line it up just to see how that looks. And let me get that in the camera frame for you. And then we're going to take the ATG gun, and once again we'll get some tape on here, and we'll be ready to add this to the card. And as I said, this one was a quick and simple one. You just had to go out there and get all your weeks and days and so forth on the internet. And then I'm going to add this, and then we've pretty much got the front of our card done, and then we'll do our embellishing. So now, I'm sorry, I didn't tell you what size that I ended up cutting everything. And because I wanted this to have a faint, or I started off with measuring this piece to be a 4 3/4 width by 6 3/4 in the height. And then once I had that, I went ahead and did my offset. And then once I took the offset, I actually went and made the offset the 6 3/4 by 4 3/4, and then I resized this down. So I hope that made sense, but you make it whatever size you want. I just wanted you to get the idea of how the card comes out. So if you want to make it an A2 size, which would be your regular 5 1/4 or 5 1/2 by 4 1/4, you can do that. But I kind of wanted to make it just a little bit larger because I wanted to be able to, you to see the wording and for them to be able to see the wording. So that's it, everybody. That's basically my card. So now you know I can't leave this plain. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and embellish my card and come back with the finished card and my envelope. Okay, everybody, so I am back with the finished card. So this is what I've done. So I went ahead and cut out some flowers using my Silhouette, and I got these flowers off of the internet, and I just went ahead and traced them and then cut them out using my Silhouette. And I cut out just as several amounts at different sizes, and just to fill up the page, and I always figure I can use them later for something else. So I think I cut a whole page of different colors. And then I went ahead, of course, and I had to add my bling in the center here. And then I took some of the iridescent medium memory mist that I have and spritzed the flowers with that. So that is the finished card. And then I've added some bling just along here in the wording. And then for my envelope, I did make a box size envelope using my We Are Memory Keepers 123 punch board. And I really love this thing. And I also went ahead and on Bird's cards website, she has a card. It's called a Bendy card, and it's a happy anniversary. So what I did was just take this portion of that card and cut that out using a silhouette. And then I took some more of the flowers and put those together and then put one set in each corner. So that's it, everybody. This is my finished anniversary card that I've made for my in-laws who have been married 60 years. Happy anniversary, Bob and Mary. Thanks for watching, everybody. Bye.